Yes, this was a terrible game tonight. Good evening. Welcome to Giants Roundup. It's therapy session tonight as well. Anyway, if you didn't see the score of the game, I don't think you want to know the 11-0 beating the Giants got tonight against the improved Philadelphia Phillies team. You can follow on Facebook, Twitter, on the Crook and Kite page on join the Crook and Kite page on Facebook and follow the Giants Roundup page on Twitter. And also, please be kind and hit that subscribe button. No, it was not a good night for the Giants. What could go wrong did go wrong for the Giants. And you really have to pose the question now if you're the Giants, is Jeff Samardzija healthy? And he only lasted 4 innings, gave up 5 earned, walked 3. Snelton, I think, is going to be on his way back to Sacramento tomorrow. He just did not look sharp at all. He gives up 5 runs, 4 earned, and 2 innings pitched. And the only bright side tonight was Reyes Maranta. He finally had a good outing after the last couple outings were shoddy. But Samardzija gives up a home run to Odubel Herrera. He gives up a home run to Hernandez. Cesar Hernandez, he gives up a home run to him. He gives up a home run to Carlos Santana. No, that was DJ Snelton. Snelton was giving up bombs too. It was just, and yeah, Samardzija is not has statistically been terrible at Citizens Bank Ballpark, but Samardzija struggled. His ERA is now at 6.62. That is not all that wonderful. But Zach Eflin was dealing tonight, and 9 strikeouts, 6 and 2/3 innings pitched. And he's no joke either. 0.71 ERA. That is not a fluke at all. And Philadelphia just got the party going early in the first inning and it was the long ball. It was all Phillies all the time tonight. And Odubel Herrera starts with a first inning home run to score Hernandez and Rice Hoskins to make it 3-0. And then Hernandez with a bomb to right field to score Kingery to make it 5-0. And that would end Samardzja's night. It was just not good. And then after that, DJ Snelton comes in. He gives up a couple home runs in the fifth inning to Carlos Santana, makes it 8-0. It scores Herrera and Maikel Franco. And then Herrera with another home run to make it 10-0. And then and I think Snelton's ERA inflated to 10.38 after this game. I think he's going to be on the bus back to Sacramento. He'll probably be on the flight back to Sacramento sooner than later. His spot can be easily taken by Austin Slater at this point. And really if honestly, if Mac Williamson's not going to play, why not call up Austin Slater? Why is Snelton still at the team with Will Smith being healthy? I like the idea of 3 lefties, but to me, today's game proved that DJ Snelton needs just a skosh more salt in Sacramento. Boggles me why Austin Slater is not currently on the roster. They could use that roster spot for an outfielder instead of a third lefty. That's something that they may have to consider as a roster move tomorrow to shore up the outfield. I just don't know what's up with Mac Williamson, but if he's not healthy, why are you having Snelton take his spot? Why not have Austin Slater up with the team? But yeah, Murata had a scoreless inning. I think that was a moral victory for him. Pierce Johnson earned run. And just Philadelphia teed off on the Giants tonight. Herrera was 2 for 3. McWilliams 2 for 5. And what's worse is tomorrow you're throwing out Greg Holland, and maybe he'll be just a skosh better, but I don't think so. And now here's the big question is Jeff Samardzija healthy? I really think he's still hurt. I still think he's hurt, and he was rushed back at this point. And some people are calling for Matt Harvey. Is it? Honestly, Matt Harvey can't be any worse at this point. But it's also it'll get interesting. Do you sign a basket case like Matt Harvey to take over Samardzija's spot? That's a possibility. Or or might I dare say, is it time to go to Tyler Beede? As much as I am not crazy about the idea of Tyler Beede being back up in the majors so soon, back up in the bigs this soon, you can't keep throwing Jeff Samardzija out there every fifth start get pounded. You just can't. The options aren't great though either. The alternatives aren't great. Maybe a Matt Harvey who's a shell of his former self. You sign him, but I still think he would have to. To me, he would have to earn his way back to the majors. I think he would have to the majors, and I think he would have to. For me, he would have to earn the trust of Bochy and Kurt Young. Whereas you may have to go through the ups and downs of somebody like Tyler Beede, and you also have Roberto Gomez, who may be hurt also. So Beede may be up with the team anyways to eat innings, and unfortunately, it, it's going to put Beede into a situation where he could end up like Jonathan Sanchez or Bruce Ortiz, two pitchers who didn't have great command, and how much of a liability can it be? How we're going to have to, and this is something we might be seeing very soon. I was like, do you want to go through maybe potentially go into June with? And this is going to get interesting. Is I really think Samardzija is more hurt than I think Samardzija is playing hurt. I really don't think he's 100% at this point. And there might have to be some talks with the trainers tomorrow. I just don't know if he's going to pitch any better in Pittsburgh. It's just the leash has got to be short, and it's scary. And this has to be concerning. 6.62 ERA is not all that wonderful. He's not striking out batters. Something tells me he's still hurt, and it's going to get interesting here. And also, though, the Giants are if they have to go out and they may have to go out and acquire a starter by the trade deadline this year. I don't know if they can wait for, but on the pitching front, they did get some good news. It looks like it's not going to be a season ender for Johnny Cueto, but he is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So he will not be back till July. He may not be back till around after the All-Star break. But that's better than losing him for the full season and potential Tommy John. That is really good news coming from Dr. James Andrews. So I wish Johnny Cueto a speedy recovery. We need him back sooner than later. And now it's Bumgarner. But the pressure's on Bumgarner to get back with the team sooner than later. We really need Bumgarner back in June. But we're going to find out what these youngsters are made of. Right now, Stratton's been good. Andy Suarez has been a find. Even Ty Block is holding his own. It's great. The youngsters are the ones that are winning games for the Giants right now. But I think Samardzija, like I said, you have to maybe start talking to the trainers about possibly putting him back on the disabled list if things don't turn around soon. Because I honestly think Samardzija is still hurt and just came back too soon. And it's got to be scary. This is a scary thought that, and then you're still on the hook for all that money too. So that it's, but also it's tough though too. I don't know if you want to see Tyler Beede go through his ups and downs either. He looked better in his last start against the Grizzlies. I'll give him that. But still, this could be too soon for Tyler Beede, and I don't know if you want Matt Harvey on the Giants. These are some tough questions that this team's going to have to answer. Or do you go 4-man rotation until, or the worst case scenario is you go 4-man rotation until Bumgarner returns. But even Holland's not a reliable fourth man. Excuse me, Derek Holland's struggling too. So this gets interesting. This is just not easy. It's going to get harder than before it gets easier for the Giants. And honestly, I think Beatty's going to be starting very soon if Samardzija doesn't turn it around. And it's going to be trial by fire for Tyler Beatty, and that's not exactly a formula for success. But there's nobody else. People say Hesto Presto. Chris Heston's. I'm going to look at Heston's numbers. Give me a second. Yeah, he's doing with the River Cats right now. And Chris Heston's, I think, hurt right now. He's not even pitching. He's one in at the 2.70 ERA, but I haven't seen. It looks like Heston. It's looking like Heston's hurt, or I really haven't seen Heston pitch. Okay, Heston's out pitching out of the bullpen, so he's not a starter anymore. So Chris Heston's not a viable starting option. He's pitching out of the bullpen now, and they could plausibly stretch him back into a starter. But I think he's more. I think they're trying to equip him better to be. I think he's going to be converting to a reliever at this point in his career, and that may not be a bad move for Chris Heston. So Heston's, it's going to be Beatty. It's really like I really have that feeling they're going to be stuck with Tyler Beatty very soon, and we're just going to have to deal with let him go through his ups and downs for better or for worse. And they really don't have the money to go out and acquire a pitcher. I mean, now maybe you could move Kelby Tomlinson, could be a potential trade chip. Your other trade chip might be Chris Shaw. But also the trade chips are just lacking, but you're just going to have to make do with what you have. And it might even just be a pipe dream that that Matt Harvey comes to the Giants. I think he could end up in Texas or somewhere else. But that I'm going to put a let's. But tomorrow the Giants will come back. It'll be Derek Holland against Aaron Nola. This one could be another ugly game tomorrow. Be prepared for it. If they get into trouble, bean a hitter and start a fight. Just kidding. But tomorrow's may not be any better, and the bats have to respond tomorrow and try to get to Nola early if they want any success of a win. And it looks like Javi Lopez is announcing right now for the Giants. Of course, with Mike Krukow no longer traveling to the East Coast. And Affeldt, I kind of like Affeldt just a skosh better than Javi Lopez in the mic, but they both told their own. But tomorrow the bats need to take advantage of the hitter friendly Citizens Bank Park. That's what you got to do if you're the Giants tomorrow. Get the bats to respond and shake off this loss. All right, let's go with the MLB roundup for tonight. And you know what? Our friends across the bay, the Oakland A's, it was just as bad for the A's as it was for the Giants tonight as the Astros pound the Oakland A's 16-2. Marwin Gonzalez goes 3 for 6 for Houston. Jonathan Lucroy went 2 for 3 for the A's tonight. But home runs by George Springer had his 8th home run of the season. Marwin Gonzalez, his 3rd home run of the season. Derek Fisher, his 3rd home run of the season. And Dallas Keuchel was just dealing tonight. Eight innings pitched and a earned run. And what a rude welcome back to. And Brett Anderson was just not good for the A's tonight. He only survives 3 innings, 9 runs, 7 earned, 10 hits in 3 1/3 innings pitched. And now his ERA balloons to 8.68. Chris Hatcher, 2 unearned runs. And Wilmer Font, 5 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings pitched. I think Font's going to be out of here soon. And over there in Oakland, and I was surprised they just didn't throw out a position player to pitch at this score. And the Mets beat the Reds 7-6. Your winning pitcher, Robert Gesselman. Your losing pitcher, Homer Bailey. 6 earned runs and 4 innings pitched for poor Homer. Jay Bruce beats up his old team tonight, goes 2 for 3 with his 3rd home run of the season. And Adrian Gonzalez, 2 home runs tonight against the Reds. And Conforto Michael Conforto had a home run tonight against the Reds too. Bailey, not a good night. 6 earned runs and 4 innings pitched, and is 0-5 with a 5.61 ERA. Not exactly the kind of year the Reds were looking for in a time where they need to hope to unload Joey Votto or Homer Bailey to tear it down to the bolts. And now the Reds are 8-27 on the season. PJ Conlon gets the spot start, 3 earned runs and 3 2/3 innings pitched. Paul Sewald, 2 earned runs and 1 2/3 innings pitched. The Twins blanked the Cardinals 6-0. Your winning pitcher, Fernando Romero. Your losing pitcher, John Gant. 4 earned runs and 5 1/3 innings pitched. And Romero only allows 4 hits in tonight's game. Robbie Grossman goes 3 for 4 for the Twins. And 9 strikeouts for the rookie, too. And Ryan Sharif, 2 earned runs in 1 inning pitched and he hits former Giant Harry Adrianza with a pitch. And the Cubbies maul the Marlins 14-2 tonight at Wrigley. It was not close. Your winning pitcher, Kyle Hendricks, 2 earned runs in 8 innings pitched. Harlan Garcia, 4 innings pitched, 7 earned runs. And it was the Chris Bryant show, 3 for 4 with his 5th home run of the season. Pedro Baez hit his 10th home run of the season. Ian Happ hit 2 home runs tonight, getting his 5th home run of the season. And it was the hit parade for the Chicago Cubs today. Cameron Maybin goes 2 for 3 for the Marlins. It was worse when Tyler Cloyd comes in, 7 earned runs in 3 innings pitched. And it was just Miami looked like a team that was tanking tonight against Chicago. And the Cubbies improved to 17-15 on the season. The Rangers beat the Tigers 7-6. Your winning pitcher, Jose Leclerc. Your losing pitcher, Daniel Stumpf. Nicholas Castellanos goes 3 for 4 for the Tigers tonight. Nomar Maraza 2 for 3 for the Rangers, and former Giant Matt Moore, another bad outing out of him. 5 2/3 innings, 5 earned runs, and now has an ERA of 7.71. And you got to feel good about getting rid of Matt Moore at this point. Michael Fulmer wasn't any better. 5 earned runs and 5 2/3 innings pitched for the Tigers. 7 strikeouts. So the bats were definitely swinging tonight in a lot of these games. And the other game that just went final, the Nationals beat the Padres 8-5. Your winning pitcher, Steven Strasburg. Your losing pitcher, Tyson Ross. And Strasburg, pedestrian night for Strasburg. 5 strikeouts and 7 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. Pedestrian numbers for Strasburg standards. Carlos Torres, 2 earned runs in 1 inning pitched. Matt Strom, 3 earned runs in 2 innings pitched. And Jose Perella, 3 for 4 for the Friars. Manuel Margot, 2 for 3 for the Friars. And Trey Turner hits his 3rd home run of the season. Matt Adams, 2 home runs tonight, hits his 10th home run of the year. And Matt Adams is looking like a really good pickup for the Nationals thus far. And the loss for the Giants tonight puts them at third place at 19-16. Colorado, 3 games back of Arizona. But this is much better than last year's pace. At last year, we've only won 11 games. It's a big improvement. And LA at 15-19 in fourth place, and the Friars at 13-22. And Philadelphia is a half game back of Atlanta at this point at 19-15. Mets are a game back, and Washington now at 19-17. So it could become a very interesting dogfight in the NL East here. But we'll see as teams start getting some separation here as we get further down into the stretch of May. But now let's go around the Bay for a little bit here. Bay Area Roundup, and it was not a good night last night for the San Jose Sharks. They were eliminated by the Vegas Golden Knights, and this is going to be a very tough offseason coming for the Sharks. I truly think this is the last we're going to see Joe Thornton in the NHL. I think he's going to hang it up. I just don't. His knees are wearing out, and I really don't know if he wants to. I just don't know if he's going to be playing hockey again next year. I think, honestly, he will hang it up after this year. And Joe Thornton's had a home run. He has had a good run with the Sharks. He might be one of the first Sharks players to get his number retired at the tank. I would love to see that. But he's done a lot of good for the Sharks, and I think he's going to recognize that it's just time for him to hang it up. I don't see him signing with another team. He retires a Shark and passes the torch. It's going to be and next year it's prove it time for Mikhail Bodker. Bodker was good down the stretch, and then he faded in the postseason. He needs to have a good year scoring wise. I think he could get or else he will end up being a buyout candidate in 2019 with him having 2 years left on his contract. It's prove it time for Mikhail Bodker. And then you've got Paul Martin, who I think is going to get bought out. I definitely think once the buyout window opens, Paul Martin's out of here. And I think Yannick Hansen's going to probably go back to Vancouver. He'll probably go back to the Vancouver Canucks. And then I think Joel Ward retires. I don't see him playing for the NHL next year. Ward has really looked terrible this last year. But it's also prove it time for Joe Pavelski. I don't think he's a top line center anymore. I think he's probably going to be a second line center next year. And you might see Couture, if they re-sign Evander Kane, your top line could be Evander Kane, Logan Couture, and Tomas Hertl. And speaking of Tomas Hertl, I got to pay the man. Paid Tomas Hertl. He's earned it. He's earned his stripes this year. And Hertl had a really excellent postseason. He's looking like he's going to be a franchise player. Gotta pay Tomas Hertl. Of course, Chris Tierney, another guy who's going to get a bump in pay. But I don't think a roster spot's guaranteed for Kevin Labanc next year. Labanc struggled in the postseason. He struggled on the power play, and I don't think a roster spot's going to be guaranteed for Kevin Labanc next season. See if I'm wrong or right about this, but I think Labanc is. But don't be surprised if Kevin Labanc ends up with the CUDA next year. We'll see if Eric Ferry signs. That's another one. Barclay Goodrow, probably on the fourth line next year. But I think Marcus Sorensen, he's going to be up with the Sharks for good next year. I think this is fine. He's not going to have to worry about starting with the CUDA next year. That is for sure. But as we go into the off season, we'll see what happens. And as much as I'd like to see the Giants win a fourth World Series, I would love to see the Sharks bring home that Stanley Cup to San Jose one day. I would die a happy man if that were to happen. Sharks don't get the love and exposure in the Bay Area media as they should. Usually you watch Bay Area sports, it's Warriors, Warriors, Warriors. And yes, our Giants do get a lot of love in the Bay Area, get a lot of media exposure. But the A's it's kind of like that with the Oakland A's too. I feel bad for the A's. I have a soft spot in my heart for the A's. They don't get as much love from the media as they should. And I'm hoping to, like I said, this is going to be a Giants channel, but certainly I'm going to give the A's some love on this channel. I'd like to see the A's do well this year. I'd love to see the A's make the playoffs. They're part of the Bay Area. I would like to see all of our Northern California teams do well. And granted, I'm a Laker fan, and I am not the biggest Warrior fan. I still don't wish bad things on the Warriors, and hard for me to root for the Warriors now with Kevin Durant. I'm not a fan of superstar basketball, but also I'm just not a fan of basketball in general anymore. I'm more of a hockey person. But yeah, but as I say, that the Sharks and A's, they are a bit down on the totem pole as in terms of Bay Area media coverage, and they deserve more than what they get. And hopefully, once in a while, I do like to give the Sharks some love, and I do like to give the A's some love. I like to see the A's stay in Oakland. That would be something that would be great for the Bay Area. And you know what? Most Giants fans actually respect the A's. There's no real hate between the two teams. There's a lot of love, so it's just more the ownership's trying to push the A's out of town. That's what it is. And I'm getting way off the rails here, so I want to wrap it up here. And oh, forgot to do the minors tonight, and then also the River Cats in the final game of the Battle of '99. The River Cats beat the Grizzlies 6-3 and take 3 out of 4 from Fresno. And your winning pitcher is Derek Rodriguez, going 2-0, and he's not doing too bad for minor league standards. 6 scoreless innings, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and now an ERA of 3.45. So far so good for Derek Rodriguez, and he came up from the Flying Squirrels a couple weeks ago. So maybe another prospect in the making. Jose Valdez records his first save of the season. Manny Parra gives up 2 earned runs and 2/3 of an inning pitched. Cy Sneed, 4 earned runs and 6 innings pitched for the Grizzlies. Matt Ramsey, 2 earned runs and 1 inning pitched. And a sad attendance number of 4,190 on this Monday night. And Yuri Perez goes 2 for 4 for the River Cats. And I don't see Steven Duggar up there today. I wonder if Duggar was just got a rest day or something. We'll see what. No, Duggar didn't play today. Ryder could be a possibility that Duggar could get the next call up. We'll see what happens with that. But this week on the farm, now that this series is over, Fresno heads to Las Vegas, and I'll be on my way to Vegas too for a 51 to see the Grizzlies play the 51s on Friday night. And Sacramento will head home to Raleigh Field to play the Salt Lake Bees for 4. And then this weekend, over the weekend, the Grizzlies will play the Bees, and the Rainiers will come to Sacramento. And that's your PCL roundup for tonight. Everybody just shake off tonight's loss. Things are going to get better tomorrow. And it's only one game. And just think of this, this game never happened. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.